Ladies and gentlemen, Diarmaid Gill. Welcome.
Thank you, Mark.
Is your first name French or Irish?
Yes, despite the looks, I am not actually French.
Yes.
I get confused all the time, right?
Well, welcome. Thank you for being here very much. Maybe describe a little bit around Criteo and the company and what it does.
So maybe one extra piece of detail which we didn't cover is Criteo is one of the great success stories of French tech. We're a French company born and bred in Paris. We're currently in the 9e. Super proud of our heritage. Where our headquarters is still here on Rue Blanche. If you're ever there, come. We've got the second best rooftop view in Paris after the Tour Eiffel.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. You manage a stunning amount of data. Mm-hmm. And I've written down here 150 petabytes. Maybe talk about the data that you're managing, the scale of it, some of the opportunities and challenges in such a massively large data set.
Yeah, so you mentioned about the 5 billion ads that we serve every day all across the open internet. But we also receive 500 billion bid requests every single day. We participate in many different auctions. And for us, we need to make a really precise decision for every single auction we participate in. So it's really important. We use AI to help kind of decide which ads to bid on, how much to bid on them, what they're worth to our users. And so having the right data in the right place at the right time to make those intelligent decisions is critical. We make about 130 million, we evaluate about 130 million AI-driven campaigns every single second.
Whoa.
Right, so latency is incredibly important for us, and accuracy is important, and reliability.
What does ad bidding mean? How does that sort of conceptually work?
Yeah, so effectively what happens is we participate in real-time bidding. So we get a request when somebody browses a website somewhere, and the publisher will send a request to a platform called an SSP, and we decide whether we want to show an advertisement for one of our clients. So we have about 20,000 of the world's largest retailers who use us to put their products in front of their users, people who have visited their websites. And so we need to decide when we get an opportunity, do we want to show? But then we have to use AI to calculate, well, what is the likelihood that if we show an ad to Mark, that he sees a product that he likes, so a recommendation engine is important, and that he will not only like the product, he will click on it, go back to our retailer, and do a purchase.
Sure.
Right, and because that's ultimately our clients are incredibly demanding. We do performance marketing. So for us, that means we give them greater returns than what they spend with us. So very demanding, very high standards, and so it keeps us...
And very real time.
Very real time, right? And you mentioned the amount of data we collect, terabytes of data per day. We have petabytes of data in our Hadoop cluster. And that's really what led us to use Vertica. Right.
Well, I'm convinced, and thank you. We'll get to Vertica in a second.
Yeah.
But thank you for mentioning it. Look, email's not going away, and the internet's not going away.
Right.
But how does it work in the world without cookies?
That's a super interesting question.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the cookies are going away, right?
So let's say third-party cookies are going away.
Yeah.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with the ad tech space, Google announced at the start of 2020 that they would eventually deprecate third-party cookies. So, the tech providers, the first-party cookies are the website owners. And so historically, they've used tech providers like us, but also Google and many other ad tech providers. And we would store a user ID, not much more, in the third-party cookie, which allowed us to be able to, kind of connect the activity from one side to another. So Google have announced a set of proposals called the Privacy Sandbox, which is currently in test. So we're in this test period through the CMA in the UK in partnership with Google. And that finishes the end of May. And at that point, we'll see how version 1 of Privacy Sandbox is working. And then we work with Google, we work with the W3C, we work with the CMA. And so Google has put in place in the Privacy Sandbox a whole set of different APIs that will replace what a third-party cookie would do, right? So to be able to target an audience, to be able to get measurement, to be able to help drive performance. And so we're right in the test phase, so watch this space. It's a very interesting time to be in the industry.
Yeah, it really is, even with other tools like TikTok and, right, that, that have different approaches too, right?
Right, so there's TikTok, but then there's also, you know, Meta, there's, you know, kind of Snapchat, there's many other, let's say, you know, kind of closed environments that we also partner with. And so providing different ways for our retailers to be able to continue to reach their customers.
Fair enough. We're strong technology partners. You mentioned Vertica, which is a key technology underlying that incredible scale and large data sets. Could you describe a little bit of how you use Vertica and what it's doing for you?
So you mentioned about all of the data, and I've talked about our very demanding clients. And so they do performance marketing with us because, you know, we provide a direct line for them to increase sales, similar to the way it would happen with Google AdSense or, you know, with, you know, kind of on-site on Amazon. And so, you know, kind of they demand, you know, details and very detailed analytics about what's happening with their campaigns. We advise them on how to manage their budgets and so on. And so, you know, kind of as we have this very large Hadoop cluster to try and get that business intelligence, we had teams of analysts and business advisors running Hive quests to try and kind of get that intelligence back out of the data. And the response times just weren't there. And in a fast-changing industry, and especially around times like the Cyber 6, Black Friday, and so on, they wanted data like this, right? And we needed something that was more performant. So back in 2015, we started looking for alternatives, something that would give us, you know, that high speed, that reliability. And that's when we came across Vertica, and we started like with a reasonably small 150 terabyte data set, and we've started kind of building from there. It started as like an internal solution. We did as like, you know, for internal clients, and it's continued to grow. We're continuing to find more use cases for it. We're continuing to experiment. We're very excited about the next generation of technology that's coming out to see how that can help provide more flexibility and more scale, and even help us solve applications that until today were kind of, let's say, out of the reach of what we've been doing. So it's an exciting space, and it's changing very fast.
Yeah, fantastic, and thank you for being a great partner. Vertica is really important to us. It's one of our key AI technologies, right? So we're using it. You know, any prompt or any embedding is just another piece of content in our mindset. So when you start managing in the trillions, you need a platform like a Vertica. Maybe just to conclude, we'd love to hear and have you share with our audience here in Paris your thoughts on AI. I had read where you said you can't spell retail without AI, and I thought that was really clever. So maybe your view of what AI is and where it's going.
Yeah, so it's super interesting. Like you mentioned about the new generation of AI that was kicked off by ChatGPT, right? And where it really opened and democratized AI for so many more people. And we see so many potentials in the retail space. So for example, you know, kind of when a user lands on one of our clients' websites, up until now, I would say that the chatbot experience across the industry, across all different types of websites, has been poor. You know, how often have you found yourself getting frustrated in this endless loop of not getting the right questions? And so using the conversational abilities of ChatGPT combined with our product recommendation can actually get our users into, you know, the users of our clients into a much more rewarding experience as they interact with their products, the products they want to find, the products that they didn't know they wanted, and so on. So there's a lot of possibilities there. In terms of being able to serve our clients, having those kind of, you know, conversational AI at the fingertips of our people means we can get solutions to our clients much more quickly. They want advice on how to run their campaign. They have a problem with something not delivering. We can now put that in their hands, in the hands of our teams. And so, you know, kind of really, really taking it to the next level. And then finally, you know, kind of we all see what Stable Diffusion and Mid-Journey can do, and trying to see what we can do with terms of the creativity that we put into the creatives themselves. You know, creating new images or putting images in new context. You know,
video.
video as well. That was amazing. I love this. I'm going to take that video and I'm going to show it to people at work and go, oh my God, it's so scary what can happen.
Yeah.
So one of the scariest things with AI is there are just so many possibilities. It's so hard to know where to start.
Indeed. Thank you for the partnership.
No, and thank you. Thank you for providing great technology.
Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, Dermot Gill, Chief Technology Officer at Criteo.
Thank you, Becky.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.